There's no way that we're going to live together before we get married. You know, shack up and cohabitate. You know, some couples live together, they play house for a little while, test drive each other, then they get married. You ever check out what their divorce rate is in marriage for couples who cohabitate then marry? They have a divorce rate of 8%. 8 out of 10 of them get divorced because they don't know what makes love work. They think you can just test drive each other. So we're not going to shack up. Number 2, no way are we going to sleep together before our wedding night. If I had sex with Kristalina tonight, I would be lying to her. My body would be saying, I give myself totally to you. I belong completely to you. Everything that I'm giving is yours. But it'd be a lie. I don't belong to her. I'm not her husband. Even if my intentions were good, the embrace would be a lie. A movie came out a while back called Vanilla Sky, and in it, Tom Cruise sleeps with this girl, and after they have sex, she says to him, she says, your body is making promises to me, even if you won't. And the embrace of sex is that promise. I give myself completely to you. And unless I'm married, it's simply not true. And you might be thinking, okay, Jay, look, I get it. Okay, Jason, you shouldn't use a girl. But Jason, what if it's not like that? What if it's not like every time you get together, you're having sex? What if you really love each other and you totally agree that you're ready for this? Why can't you have sex? I'd say step back. What is love? Love means you do what is best for your beloved. And I ask you, is it best for Kristalina to wake up tomorrow morning thinking, am I going to be 2 weeks pregnant on our wedding day? Is my mom going to find out? Am I going to get disease? Am I getting used? Is it best for a girl to put her through these fears? It never is. So why are we abstinent? It's not because we're afraid of pregnancy or disease. It's because of love. It is so simple, because love can wait to give, but lust cannot wait to get. And if you're in a sexually active relationship, you can take the sex out and you can see if there's love there. We did this where we were in Michigan, speaking of this huge public high school, and there's 1,000 freshmen and 1,000 sophomores. The juniors and seniors weren't at the talk. And so after the talk, I'm hanging out with some students in the front, and a senior runs into the auditorium, and he's all mad. And he's like, and he's running through. He's like, dude. And he comes up to the front, and he's like, dude, who told my girlfriend all about secondary purity? And I said, me. And he comes up, and he's like, dude. And I go, well, what's the problem? And he said, dude, it turns out he was a senior, and his girlfriend was a freshman. He was one of these older guys who didn't have enough social skills to date a girl his own age, so he runs after the younger ones, you know, but I'm sure that only happens in Michigan. But what's the deal? What's the deal with the older guy, younger girl thing? How come older girls almost never go for younger guys? The reason is this. Girls mature faster than guys do. I'm sure you girls are thinking, wow, thanks for the revelation. But think about it. Look at a 14-year-old girl. 14-year-old girl's sitting at home, and she's thinking, I want a relationship where we can just talk about our friends and our family, we can communicate about our feelings, and yep. Okay, good. Look at a 14-year-old guy. 14-year-old guy is sitting at home, and he's like, I can make noises with my armpit. This is cool. I mean, we're just different. So a 14-year-old girl can get bored of the 14-year-old guy. But along comes Mr. High School guy to the junior high girl, Mr. Senior to the sophomore freshman, Mr. College guy to the high school girl. And immediately the girl says, oh my goodness, this is exciting. He's older than me, he's a little more mature, and he likes me. This is exciting. Little does she know that the younger girl is, the more naive she is to have heard the lines that he has to give her. Lines like this, baby girl, I love you so much. I've never felt this way when I was with any girl ever before. And I'm a guy in all of my temptations, but I don't want to pressure you to do anything sexually that you're not ready for, because I want it to be for the sake of love. And she thinks, oh, he's so loving. Little does she realize the guy will physically take from her everything she's willing to give him. He's not leading her to purity, he's wearing it down. He might even give her like a promise ring. A promise ring is like a little pacifier. You pop a pacifier in a kid's mouth, he thinks he has the real thing going on. And an older guy might give a girl a promise ring so she thinks that any sexual stuff they do together is more special because she's got a little bling bling thing going on. And this does not mean that all promise rings are bad. It doesn't mean that all older guys are bad. But if he's as good as you think he is, how come some girl his own age hasn't snatched him up by now? Older guys know that younger girls are less likely to refuse them because the girls want to win the older guy's approval, but to step back. And so this senior runs into the auditorium. He's all mad. And I said, what's the problem? And he goes, well, he said, I just saw my girlfriend in the hallway and she looked all happy. And I said, where you been the last hour? And she said, oh, enjoying my new purity. So I came in here to see what the heck happened to her. And I said, well, you can sleep with her again. Just marry her one day. And he's like, and I go, well, isn't she worth waiting for? And he goes, no. It is the love test. And only when love is put to the test can its value be seen. So have the courage to apply it. Thirdly, and this is huge, no way on earth Are we going to put her body on birth control and contraception? How disrespectful could I possibly get to a woman's body to treat it like fertility is a disease, so we got to give her shots and pills so I can neuter her, so I can have lifeless love with her? You know what your doctors do not tell teenage girls about the pill? How many girls, when they gave you the pill, or Depo-Provera, that shot which neuters you for a couple months, did they ever bother to tell you, girl, oh, here's your pill, oh, and by the way, if you have 3 sexual partners in your life, you're 15 times as likely to develop cervical cancer. And if you're on the pill, this is worse, because the pill allows cancer-causing agents to have access to your body. Oh, and also, by the way, the pill also harms your immune system, so you're more likely to get sexually transmitted diseases. Do they tell you this? No. Do they ever tell the girl, oh, here's your pill? Oh, and by the way, if you take this for an extended period of time before ever having kids, you are increasing your odds of developing breast cancer. Do they tell the girls that? No. Do they ever tell the girls this? Oh, here's your pill, and this one's the kicker. Do they ever tell the girls, oh, here's your pill, oh, and by the way, as a teenage girl, as a woman, your uterus is between, the lining of your uterus, the endometrium, is between 5 and 13 millimeters thick. But don't worry, once we get you on the synthetic hormones of the pill, we'll thin out the lining of your uterus to about 1 millimeter, which means if you get pregnant on the pill, don't worry, the pill will abort your child before you ever know that you're pregnant. So if you're a guy sleeping with a girl who's on the pill, you could already be a daddy having aborted the kids that you didn't know you ever had because your girlfriend was on the pill. They don't have to tell girls this. They might even deny it, even though it's sitting on his desk, on the physician's desk reference, and it's in the info packet on the pill. Do they ever tell the girls there's a part of your cervix called the ectropion, and it's very liable to get infection. In 10 years from now, it gets replaced with a different type of tissue, and your body will be able to resist infections better. But since you're a teenager, your body isn't ready for that traffic. It's like your heart. It's not made for the multiple sexual partners. When it comes to what the doctors say next, they say, well, girls, look, you girls need the pill. You missed a cycle? Oh, my gosh, you had a bad period? Oh, you're having cramps? Oh, you have acne? Oh, you have a cyst? You have to go on the pill. 4 doctors in a row told Crystal, oh, you have to go on the pill for medical reasons. It's not a sin to be on it for medical reasons, but he told you have to go on it. So we went to 4 doctors, all saying, oh, you have to go on the pill. We finally went to a good gynecologist, and I asked him, how many teenage girls have to be on the pill for medical reasons? And he said, honestly, and I said, please. He said, we have the alternatives. The pill just suppresses the problems. It doesn't really heal them. And so he healed her, and she has been fine ever since. Towards the end of the talk, I'll point you to a resource where you can go to find these good doctors, but we're lied to about it. When it comes to all this sexually transmitted, you may be wondering, well, Jason, if you guys aren't going to use contraception in marriage, what do you have, like 47 children? Well, probably not. But if we need to space out kids, we're going to use something called natural family planning. It's 99% effective in spacing out kids, totally natural, and couples who use it have a divorce rate of like 2%. There's so much wisdom in the church. But when it comes to like sexually transmitted diseases, I'll ask you, for those of you who haven't heard our talk before, what's the most common sexually transmitted disease right now in North America? What would you say? AIDS? No. Herpes? No. Chlamydia? No. Syphilis? No. Warts? No. VD? No. Gonorrhea? Usually we come to high schools, I say, what's the most common STD? And they're like, AIDS, gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis. Some guy in the corner's like, crabs. And I'm like, no, it's not crabs, stay away from it. But what is it? We were just in Michigan and Toronto. We asked 5,000 students, what's the most common STD? None of them got the answer right. It wasn't AIDS. AIDS is less than 1% of all the STDs. It's pretty rare compared to the rest. It's not herpes. When you said herpes, herpes is real common. It's like 1 out of 5 people in North America now has genital herpes, which is incurable. It's not chlamydia. Someone said chlamydia. Chlamydia is real scary because like half the guys who have it don't know that they're infected. They look fine. Problem is if a girl sleeps with one of these guys, it can infect her and sterilize her before she ever knows that she's infected. Sterilize means keep you from ever being able to have kids. But the #1 STD by a landslide, the condom companies, it's their little secret. They don't want anyone to know about it. Why? It kills more girls every year than AIDS does because it causes 99% of cervical cancer. But why they don't want you to know about it is because the condom does not protect you from getting this STD, because it is spread from mid-thigh to mid-abdomen contact. Any skin-to-skin sexual contact in this region can transmit the virus. Even hand-to-genital contact can transmit it. But they're all hung up on safe sex, so you don't want them to know, they don't want you to know that that whole thing is a lie. As you said, it's human papillomavirus, HPV. 1% of people get genital warts. 99% don't get warts. You feel fine, you look fine, you don't get tested. I knew a guy who got married, had a baby girl. She's like a year old. She coughed all the time. So he took her to the doctor. He said, hey, doc, can you take a peek at my girl? She's got a sore throat. And he said, sure. Looked in the